And we are back for one more video today. Welcome back to Grade A Fantasy, everybody. I'm your boy Grade A Fantasy, and we are here to talk about the Week 3 preview for the quarterback positions. So let's get right into it. Man, injuries have played a big part in this season early. If you ask me right now, it's early in the season, even though Jaden Daniels right now is in prep to try to make it back. He's not practicing, but he's like doing workouts and warm-ups to at least get cleared to play this week. But obviously we all know if by any chance he can't make it, then we will be looking at most likely, the news reports say, Mariota to fill in the spot. And obviously that'll be a great, another low price quarterback. Seems like that's what we've been getting a lot lately for 6,000. But it is what it is. It's still not confirmed, but obviously the Joe Burrow news, that stuff like that's confirmed. So we'll get into his backup in a little bit. But for top plays, I'm starting right there. If Jaden is 86, obviously there's no Joe Burrow. He'll drop out. He'll be dropping down real soon. So you got Jalen Hurts, but I love Baker Mayfield against a Jets defense that has not been playing well. Baker stacks, Baker doubles are in effect. Stack them with Mbuka or Bucky or even Rashad to be more contrarian. Once again, we like to bring up the shadowing and the cornerback matchups. He will still, Mike Evans. Mike Evans, I will still be on Mike Evans, but just not as much because more than likely he'll be on his main left side. They don't move him around, and he'll probably see Sauce Gardner shadow all game long. Right underneath him is the guy that I've been telling y'all about for 2 weeks. Now look at him. Your man went from mid to high sixes and is almost already sniffing. He's basically almost $8,000. If he keeps this up, he's going to be 85, 87 by possibly Halloween if he keeps playing like this with no dud games. But Daniel Jones against Tennessee, also an option. What's good about Daniel Jones' price though is that at 7,800, it's not really a bad thing because his wide receivers are still cheap. The main two components that are now pricey, now that Daniel Jones is up to 78, is pretty much Jonathan Taylor. So Daniel Jones still, in a way, still pretty cost effective, or the stack would be. I kind of like Jordan Love this week. He's interesting, but as we go down, and then there goes another injury with Justin Fields' concussion, so you got to see if he gets cleared. I do like Drake May against Pittsburgh. Like I said, that's another defense that has not been playing well. And Drake May is, settled into his second year, and he's working. He's doing his thing well and improving, and just 2 straight weeks of solid performances. So Drake May at home against a Pittsburgh defense that hasn't figured it out yet, I definitely like that. Obviously, everybody's all over the Dak Prescott game. The Bears and Chicago, pretty much what they feel, probably the two of the worst defenses in the league. Right down there with what I guess you could say the Panthers, and then I guess you could, even though they did play pretty decent when it comes to actual stats and rating, I guess you could say the Saints and stuff like that. Bo Nix has an interesting one. That's a tough division matchup, but the Chargers are a team that can be beaten in the air. So Bo Nix stacks are live. They still have a weakness in the secondary. Like I said, and on the opposite end of that game, you got Caleb Williams at 71. As you start going down here, Aaron Rodgers is interesting this week because New England really has issues stopping the pass. Now, here's the main thing. They literally got one main guy that holds down that entire secondary. If Christian Rodriguez, their star shutdown corner, young star shutdown corner, does not return, I still say you continue to attack that. So if he's not there, automatically Rodgers skinny stacks with Metcalf are live as we keep scrolling. I do like, and the fact that, like I said, I respect that Minnesota defense. I'm not gonna. You can use him, but I'm not really recommending Jake Browning. 2 of my contrarian picks, and I think these are pretty good ones, and I'll be building some. Michael Penix against Carolina. He doesn't have to. He's not going to be popular because I know there's going to be other quarterbacks probably even lower priced. Like I said, if some of these guys don't get cleared, Michael Penix and C.J. Stroud, they're going to get caught. They're going to get shadowed away from the likes of Mac Jones, Tyrod Taylor, Joe Flacco was still cheap, but that's a tough matchup against Green Bay. And then, like I said, if you keep scrolling down, Mariota's going to be down here. I really like these two, and here's the reasons why. Penix hasn't been that impressive yet, but this is the game where, for his price at 6,800, a screen pass to he gets a screen pass to Bijan for a touchdown, which is possible. Obviously, if Bijan goes nuts, that sucks for your Penix stacks, of course. But if Penix can, at least now he has a full array of Darnell Mooney's now back. He returned last week. You got Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and more than likely, it's going to be Carolina going to be down again trying to speed up the game, and Bryce Young throwing about 45-something attempts. So, Michael Penix in a great spot. And I like C.J. Stroud this week. Now, why do I like Stroud? Because I always talk about how bad that offensive line is. They're going against one of the worst defensive front sevens in the league. The weakness of that front seven is that defensive line. So, if Stroud gets time, I think you can double. So you can have him, Nico Collins, and their new addition to strengthen there, because he's basically replacing the spot of Stephon Diggs. Didn't work out in Jacksonville for him. So going against his former team, he should like that. Christian Kirk is improving off his injury from during preseason, and reports say he is on a great path to play and basically make his debut in week 3. So C.J. Stroud with a defensive line that shouldn't be able to, even though, like I said, his offensive line is still pretty shoddy, but when you're going up against at least a shoddy front four, then yeah, I say Stroud should have the ability to have his first breakout game this year. Like I said, these are pretty pedestrian games. Fantasy point wise, he's on he barely got to 15. He hasn't gone over 225 yards yet. I think this is that you can get, if he doesn't get the 300, obviously, Nick Chubb looked good against the Buccaneers last night and looked pretty healthy. But this is a game that C.J. Stroud can get 250, 275. He might miss your 300-yard bonus, but I think for his price, I think C.J. Stroud can at least get 2 touchdowns this week, because he will get his full. Because if he gets cleared, Christian Kirk will have a clear shot. Will have a clear shot against his former team, and then for the first time this season, he'll have his full assortment of wide receivers. So when it comes to the contrarian picks, it's definitely these two here. Like I said, we still have to wait for the official announcement before everybody can get on the Mariota train. Excuse me. But when it comes to the pay-ups, to end this review, when it comes to the pay-ups, to me the best pay-up options are Baker, Daniel Jones, just those two. As you get to the mid-price level, like I said, because of their price, and like I said, because of the game, like I said, there's something about that Dallas-Chicago game that I think is going to underwhelm and be like 27-21. And 27-21 still doesn't sound bad, but when you get that, there's a couple of field goals in there and there's stalled drives or whatever. So maybe for the game total, it works, but it sounds like something that all of a sudden both defenses, they don't wake up fully, but they wake up enough to slow the game down. But like I said, it's a game that I should at least, or you should at least get. But I'm just telling y'all that I'm going to be getting under the field. Because sometimes when two bad teams play with the offensive talent they have, and it's concentrated. It's concentrated talent or whatever. Like I said, Caleb skinny double stacks, Dak double stacks. But if they can get some pressure or whatever, like if the Bears defense can look like what they look like in the first half against the Vikings, then yeah, that game's a bust. And then if the Eagles show up like how they did against the Eagles, they ain't get dominated, but obviously the Eagles were a better team, that game is gonna bust. The game is gonna bust. It's one of those where instead of game stacking, you're only gonna need one, maybe two people. But yeah, when it comes to the mid-level area, actually all three of those guys at 73, 73, and 72 look good. Knicks, Prescott, Drake May. And then when it comes to the paydowns, yeah, I those two are going to be low owned. They have a game script where they can blow up, or just very damn well pay off a sub 7K salary. So that is the end of the QB preview. Thank you for tuning in. 2 videos down, 3 more to go. Wide receivers, tight ends, and defense. All should be done by Friday. But as for now, good luck with your research. This is Grade A Fantasy, signing off.